City, of course, 10 points clear, but we're focused a little further down the table. Liverpool 6th, Everton 7th with a game in hand. Of course, the two sides will meet Saturday in the Merseyside derby at Anfield. Now, Liverpool coming off a great result midweek in the Champions League, but when we focus on their league form, not so great. They've lost 3 straight in the Premier League, outscored 8-2 in those matches. Stevie, the league form not good, but can we throw it out the window based on what you saw midweek against Leipzig?
To be honest, I'm going to base this on what I've seen from Everton rather than what I've seen from Liverpool. I think we know Liverpool are going to play some good football. Hopefully they're going to create. The question is, will they take chances and can they defend? And that's kind of been their mantra. I think this is all about Everton. Up until I got out of my bed this morning and looked to see what had been said from Ancelotti about injuries, I kind of changed my opinion because I was very comfortable when I went to my bed the night before. But the fact that Calvert-Lewin's back, you've got Allan back, you've got James, who I think will play as well. So they've got a, as well as Liverpool getting a little bit of a kick from winning against Leipzig, Everton's going to get a little spurt as well from those three. At the same time, I don't think it's going to be enough, and I think Liverpool will take care of business.
You mentioned what Carlo Ancelotti said. Jurgen Klopp kind of downplayed this earlier, but the reverse fixture of this is where Virgil van Dijk got hurt. Will Liverpool's players be thinking about that at all? Is that at all a factor in this?
Absolutely not. Liverpool have got other things to worry about right now without thinking about vendettas. And when you start doing that, that affects your game. When you start worrying about getting a kick at somebody or going around and trying to get one back on somebody, that's going to affect you. As I said, Liverpool got far too many other problems where they can do things like that. So I don't think it will have any bearing whatsoever.
Craig, speaking of those other Liverpool problems, it's basically been a coin flip over the last couple months which Liverpool we get. It's not really between good and bad. It's between feast and famine.
Yeah, and look, there's a clear fight for the top 4 here between a few teams. One of which, up until a couple of games ago, looked like it might be Everton. It might still be, but clearly, you know, Liverpool for sure are not going to catch City. There's a big question whether anybody will catch them, but certainly not from where Liverpool are. So there's a clear fight for the top 4, and I think they'll be buoyed by their performance in midweek. But I'm with Stevie on this. Like, Allan is probably going to come back, but he's lacking match sharpness. Rodriguez is a talent, but he's not got the work rate, particularly away from home at a place like Liverpool. And Liverpool are going to get lots of the ball here because Everton do that home and away. They kind of set off and they allow you. It's what Liverpool can do with it. And look, Everton, you know, they're such a hard team to read at times. A bit like Leicester in a sense. You know, Leicester have lost some crazy games this year, but they're still up there. Everton, I think they had 3 games in hand up until a week or 10 days ago, and then they lost at home to Fulham. They lost at home to City's kind of expected. They hung in there and then they got brushed aside. But I could see Liverpool getting a result here purely because they're going to dominate the game. And I think eventually they'll break Everton down. Of course, they've got to watch Calvert-Lewin, his pace in behind and running the channels, and that's a weak point for Liverpool at the moment. But I just feel with this top 4 looming as a real fight that Liverpool will get the job done here and could put a little run together to get themselves in there.
Shaka, Everton haven't beaten Liverpool since 2010, haven't won at Anfield since 1999. This feels like as good a chance as they're going to get.
Yeah, right now all records are falling as far as Liverpool is concerned, in particular over recent weeks. That form at Anfield. Listen, I'm different from the boys here. I'm sitting on the fence, but leaning Everton. I just feel that as good a result as it was against RB Leipzig, maybe a little bit expected, especially given I thought RB Leipzig coming to this were a little bit light up front and maybe not threatening Liverpool anywhere near as much as you would have thought. But with Calvert-Lewin coming back in particular and still that makeshift centre-half pairing that Liverpool will be relying on in Kabak and Henderson, I just feel that there are goals for Everton here. And as I say, I'm sitting on the fence but leaning Everton. I just don't see a Liverpool win.
Shaka, why
I'm confused, Sebi. I'm confused here. We got to. Stevie, I don't know, but is it just me? I mean, I got out of bed too early this morning, but is he sitting on the fence, leaning on the fence, or is he going for Everton? What's he doing?
I was trying to figure it out myself, and I couldn't come up with an answer.
I'm thinking. Let me just clear this up. I'm thinking draw, but if I had to pick one or the other and not sit on the fence, it's Everton.
All right, you have actually, Shaka,
because I know you don't like me sitting on the fence, Craig. That's all.
Well, I don't know if you're sitting on the fence or leaning on the fence. I'm super confused here, but you know.
There's a fence.
That'll be the next segment.
That's all. Let's just go with that. There's a fence in there.
Why don't we show people predictions? Stevie, I know I got to look at yours this morning. You said 3-1 Liverpool. That'd be a repeat of the '86 FA Cup, wouldn't it?
Absolutely,
somebody was on Wikipedia today. Look at that. Shaka's
Hold on a minute. Shaka's gone for Liverpool in his prediction.
I think is that a typo?
I changed my mind. That was too early.
He's gone for Liverpool.
That was earlier today.
I've changed my mind since that.
He just said, the producer got in touch with him this morning, he's gone for Liverpool. Now he's just said he thinks it might be a draw, but if it's not a draw, he's leaning towards Everton.
I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind.
Fluid situation here on ESPN FC. Why don't we...
Good.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.